Hey, I was just wondering, you guys, we'll just sit around and play games on my phone since there's not much going on in Vikings world. Is that okay with you? I'll give you a play-by-play on like pool and darts.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything going on today in Vikings land. Do you, Kyle Smith? Is there a reason why we're recording right now on a show that we didn't schedule in advance?
So I'm an asshole. Last week,
Yes. How does this relate to Minnesota?
let me rope this back in since we're playing like blind show dating games. Welcome to episode 636. Kyler Murray is a Minnesota Viking as of about an hour ago. Last week, my name was No Midget Quarterbacks, please.
Oh God, was it really?
It was.
Oh,
I'm sorry, okay? 5'10" and 1/8 inches. We're about the same height. And listen, I'm gonna start the show and say this is the right move. You had this
oh,
should
a
have happened last
hundred
year.
percent.
This competition should have happened last year. I have pounded the table for you never give, especially a kid who didn't play a single down of a real game. You don't just hand him the keys to the Ferrari. He's got to earn that shit. And we're talking about a former number one overall pick, a former Heisman Trophy winner, drafted like you were just talking about off the air into the MLB in the first 9 picks.
That
Yes,
doesn't happen if you're not a supreme athlete on some
correct.
level. Like, come on here.
My only issue with Kyler Murray is can he stay healthy? I don't have. I could give a shit less about this. Are you watching tape thing? I watched the video today, and this is the total fan in me and the optimism coming out because we are so ready to move on from JJ McCarthy, especially you and I.
Oh,
Is
oh.
something about him addressing, and he was obviously a Cardinal up until today. He was addressing like the contract stuff and his commitment to football. He's like, "Listen, I'm going to list the accolades for you. I'm just going to do it." He's like, "I went 43-0 in high school." Oh, well, that was high school. Yeah, nobody else ever did that in the state of Texas. I was like, pretty good clap back. He goes, "I won the
State of Texas. Hey, that
find a
yeah,
better football state not named Texas or Florida. I will
you can't
wait."
you can't.
And then he said, won the Heisman. He goes, "I won." Didn't he win Rookie of the Year or Offensive Player of the Year when he was a rookie? Like, he's done all this stuff. He goes, "To question my commitment to football is funny." He goes, "And I had the choice to go play baseball. I was ninth overall. Nobody's ever been drafted that high, and went the first overall pick." He goes, "And not to mention, he's like, I'm undersized." He goes, "I don't have the advantage of this quarterback or that quarterback." He goes, "And y'all question my commitment to the game." He's like, he sold
Okay,
me on that
so
immediately because I had never seen that conference before.
let's go through some of this real quick here. According to what I just found, NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2019. He is a two-time Pro Bowl selection in 2020 and 2021, a Heisman Trophy winner in 2018, a Manning Award winner in 2018, AP College Football Player of the Year 2018, First Team All American 2018, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year 2018, First Team All Big 12 2018. That is just a few of his accomplishments that you've got listed, as well as, like you said, a former number one overall pick. He was also very highly drafted in Major League Baseball. So that tells you right there that he is an athlete. He is a step above, and I'm already going to go there, JJ McCarthy in terms of just being a pure athlete.
So in his 7 years in the league, last year he only had 962 yards. So I got to look up and see what the exact injury was.
He was
But
banged up with a foot injury.
okay. Well, barring some Max Crosby shit where his physical sucks and we back out of this, which is the wildest thing I've seen in a decade in the
Oh, I
NFL.
know.
Um, he already has 20,000 yards, 121 touchdowns. So I'm looking here. Here's the things that I'm looking at just on paper, right? Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2019, his first year. 2020 and 2021 Pro Bowler. Um, Comeback Player of the Year. He got some votes in 23 and 24. Here's what I'm looking at. Completion percentages, first of all. How accurate are
Okay.
you? He
How?
from the rookie year, which was the worst completion percentage he had, which is what I want to see. He's never been below 64.4%, which is great. The highest he had was in 2021, 69.2. Last year, 68.3. 2024, 3,851 yards, 68.8. I'm not worried about that.
Ooh.
How many touchdowns as you would like? He's only capped at 26 one year in 2020. But I look at the Cardinals, was what, DeAndre Hopkins was his only real target? Can you
Yeah.
name another receiver that was there that was worth a shit? Because I can't.
Can you name another Arizona Cardinal?
Zach Ertz and Buda Baker. That was all. And then they got the end of J.J. Watt, which was cool. But yeah, I can't name anything. So not really a great situation. I wouldn't call them the Jets of the NFC, but they're consistently in
Ah,
the
they're
top
close
10.
to it. They're
Yeah,
close to it. Weren't they one of those teams on the NFL report card that was making their payers like pay for
pay for
cafeteria
food.
food, pay for
Insane.
food? So it's but I this is a real slippery slope that we're walking down right now. But
Yeah.
you can 100% make that argument of coming from a really bad organization with not much structure. Maybe they don't take care of their players the best to coming to Minnesota with a very offensive friendly head coach and staff. And hey, we know the weapons that we have out there. You got to think that being able to throw to Justin Jefferson, one of the top three receivers in the NFL, is immediately going to elevate Kyler Murray. Uh, his stats are going to shoot up just almost immediately having Jets out there on the field with him, right?
Absolutely. And like I was telling my best friend, shout out to Greg. He's always giving me shit. He's a Pats fan. Of course, they were back in the Super Bowl 5 years after Tom Brady leaves.
I hate that so much.
I do too. But he said, yeah, this is cool because you guys have a chance with your coach and everything. And I said the same thing you said. I said, hey, DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Jefferson, I would put them in the same caliber at their peak of players, like one of, if not the best in the league. DeAndre Hopkins was a fucking animal in his heyday. But yeah, I think with all the weapons, a fantastic defensive coordinator that came back, and then a coach that could, hey, I'm gonna make this as easy as I can for you as long as you do your part. Cool. I don't have any doubt in my mind he's going to be the week one starter, barring an injury. I don't
Oh,
see how JJ
let's
McCarthy beats him.
let's talk about it.
Yep.
This is not a competition. Kyler Murray was not brought in to have a competition with JJ McCarthy and may the best man win, guys, and like we're going to go out there and we're going to see who our starting quarterback is. This is not 2003 anymore, folks. There is no longer two-a-days in training camp and off season. This you don't have the reps to go around to get your starting quarterback ready. Uh, this is Kyler Murray's team. He's going to get all of the first team reps as he should. It is not a competition with McCarthy. The QB competition here, Kyle Smith, is going to be for the backup position. That is going to be Kyler Murray, Carson Wentz, and probably another veteran quarterback that's going to be fighting to see who is going to be QB2 on this roster. And guys, there is a very real possibility McCarthy gets beat out and does not even get the second string options here in Minnesota. It would not surprise me if he is like your inactive emergency QB3 on game days moving forward. That's how far down I think McCarthy just slid or is going to slide on this depth chart.
I'll do a little more positive spin. Now, this would suck for the team and for us fans, but here's the positive outcome for JJ McCarthy. Kyler Murray is injury prone. We got him on a really cheap vet minimum deal because Arizona's eating the salary this year to get rid of him, and they're starting over. So let's say Kyler comes in, plays 4 games, gets hurt. JJ comes in, and he looks much better than he did last year. That's the path forward with JJ McCarthy. I don't want that to happen
Sure.
because I want to see Kyler Murray flourish because I believe, based on what I've seen up until today, which is March 12th, 2026, I've seen what Kyler Murray can be. You got to think, they said it on national media the last couple of days because they knew he was going to get released and they thought he was going to go here. Dude was in the MVP conversation at one point in one of these seasons.
Yeah.
So I know what the ceiling is should he go back to that sort of play. The problem is we're talking about two smaller, and I'll say smaller because I know JJ McCarthy's like 6'3", but not as huge This isn't Josh Allen body types and Herbert body type quarterback. We're talking about two kind of injury prone quarterbacks. So I'm hoping he gets a full season. I'm hoping he's fully healed from whatever happened last year, which is my ignorance. I didn't follow the Cardinals last year. I don't know why he was out. I just know Jake Brisket was out there a lot. So, hey, that's the path forward for JJ McCarthy where he finds an opportunity to show what he's got because he's on his last leg. I'm sorry that first year happened where he got hurt, but when Sam Darnold steps in and has an MVP season, too bad. Last year you got given the job and it didn't work out well. And I hate that for him not to be rude and mean, but if you can't stay healthy, you're not good to anyone in the NFL. And that's the hard part of the business. It's a tough sport. You get banged up all the time, but
Oh yeah.
it is what it is, man. I'm hoping for a healthy quarterback season this year because getting B-Flow back, we got Aaron Jones back. We haven't even talked about free agency yet.
Yeah.
They got a third-round comp pick for Sam Darnold. Now they have 9 total picks in this year's draft. No
Suddenly we
Quincy
got
at the wheel.
suddenly yeah, right? Suddenly we got some ammo to kind of go around. You do what you need to
Momentum
do
has
in the
shifted positively for this team, and
yeah.
all you got to do now is nail the draft and get one good free agent. And I feel much better than we were a month ago. You know what I mean?
Right on. I'm right with you on that too. And I think that you got to remember that the bar, the hurdle to clear is so low compared to the quarterback play that we had with McCarthy and Brosmer last year. And I don't care about the 5 game win streak that we ended the season on. That is fool's gold. That is 100% fool's gold. That does not tell the story of what we've heard after the fact of Kevin O'Connell basically gutting the offense for McCarthy, of saying we're taking plays out of the playbook because you can't run them. We're taking away any throws across the middle of the field because we don't trust you to read an NFL defense. We are giving you like one look, and if it's not there along the outside, like throw the ball away. That is how low of a hurdle we have to clear. So prior to this, was Kyler Murray my favorite quarterback in the NFL? No, I was actually fairly critical of his. But can he step in and run an actual competent NFL offense? Yes, he can. We've seen him do that in Arizona. We've seen him have success. So, do you think that him coming to Minnesota with the pieces and parts that we have and Kevin O'Connell, pretty good head coach, pretty good play caller, can that help elevate him to that next level? If he has had some of the knocks on Kyler Murray, maybe when the seasons aren't going as well as what you would hope, maybe he's not the most motivated of players, maybe he's not the biggest leader of men. Well, if you're putting him in a situation where you're having more fun week to week, i.e., throwing the ball to Jefferson, you're having success, you're throwing touchdowns, you're winning some football games, I don't think that's an issue with him anymore. I think now, hey, you're having fun, you're staying more motivated, you want to be out there, maybe you're more vocal, maybe just having more fun loosens him up, and we get to see him go to that next level for the Vikings. That's kind of my hope for him moving forward.
And Wes brought up a good point. He says, I feel much better getting Kyler than I would if we got Rodgers. Listen, I would want Aaron Rodgers the most
Right
out
on.
of anyone because I know for a fact that he could unlock something in this offense that no one else could simply on his mind. Just because. That's kind of my
Just
dream scenario. As much as we hated him over the years, I've always had an NFL man crush on Aaron Rodgers because he was the second coming of Favre with less interceptions. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But if let's name them off just because we got to make an episode and we got to talk about some stuff. Aaron Rodgers, personally for me, would have been totally fine of him coming to the Vikings. Probably my number one choice. Number two, Kyler Murray. For all the reasons we stated of age, mobility, athleticism, prior accolades, ceiling, all of that. What I was not cool with, Tua Tagovailoa, no sir.
Oh boy, no.
No, sir. Never in a million years. And I'm glad that Brian Flores takes that pretty much nixed that right off the bat. There's no way that would have worked. I didn't want Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. I don't care about the football player. I think he's a freaking cornball, and I don't believe a word he says.
And I also think he's done at this stage in his career. He's
And you know what? I went back and forth for the 6 seasons I've been on this show, and Kirk Cousins was on here. Sometimes he was treated poorly, sometimes he wasn't, and
yeah.
he needed. But the fact that he's still asking for like however much money per year, dude, no, get the hell out of here
I
with that. I'm so over that crap. I'm glad he's not
you
back.
you could have easily talked yourself into the Kirk Cousins reunion in Minnesota,
Sure,
uh, but we've also that's like putting on a Metallica's greatest hits record, and you hear Inner Sandman, and you're like, yeah, I like this song, but I've heard it so many times before. I really don't need to listen to it again. And that's kind of Kirk Cousins. We're like, you don't really need to go back down that route again. Here's my question for you about Kyler Murray's style of play. I like his mobility. I like his ability to roll outside and go off script and make plays. Does that fit with what Kevin O'Connell wants to do with a starting caliber quarterback? Because we know sometimes when Nick Mullins would YOLO and go off script and just kind of throw the ball wherever he wanted down the field, didn't really jive with O'Connell. But
Nick Mullins mentioned today.
there's also no knock on Nick Mullins, but the level of talent between Nick Mullins and Kyler Murray is pretty sizable difference there
There's a
too.
little
So
gap there, yeah.
do you think they're gonna let Murray have a little bit longer of a leash to
Yeah.
kind of ad lib and freelance and kind of make things up?
I think naturally he already knows about that because here's my bland take on generic information from the Cardinals. If you're drafted in the top 10 every year outside of the one year they
You
made the
suck.
playoffs, your O line's probably not great, and they didn't have
Yeah.
that many weapons outside of D Hop and Zach Ertz for a little while. I can't think of any other impactful players. I can't name a running back that was there. David Johnson, but was he even there when Kyler Murray was there? I don't remember.
Beanie
But
Wells, how long has it been since you heard his name?
Nick Mullins and Beanie Wells mentioned. Good night, guys. We've done
Yeah.
our job today. No, I think it'll be a good marriage of both. Kyler already has the experience where he knows he needs to bail on a play. I've seen the crazy
I
throw. You remember the Hail Mary throw that he hit to
yeah,
Diop? That's what makes me excited because Jefferson having what 2 touchdowns last year and barely getting 1,000 yards.
that hurt.
That sucks, and I don't like it. I don't think that he deserves that, and I'm glad that that will change if Kyler Murray's healthy for the whole year because that won't be an issue. Um,
I'm kind of looking forward to, hey, let's say the play breaks down, and if Murray can kind of use his mobility and scramble out, and can we have a little bit of the old Cunningham to Moss, where Randy just goes deep and he's just throwing the arm up, and can Jefferson and Kyler Murray have that sort of connection when things break down? Can JJ just throw the arm up and just chuck the ball deep to him and see what happens? We've said that for a long time on this show, at least I have. Give Justin Jefferson an opportunity because a 50-50 ball with any other receiver, like Jefferson is going to come down with that more often than not. Like he's going to make those plays. So give him that opportunity to go out there and do that. That's what I want to see from the quarterback position here in Minnesota. Don't forget Jordan Addison still with the team as well too.
yeah, I
Addison, Hawkinson,
Hawkinson did a nice restructure and took a pay cut
he
to
did.
stay. I know you and I didn't. I don't say we didn't care. We were on the fence about Aaron Jones. I'm glad he's back.
I
I'm glad
don't
there was a cut, but I'm glad he's back because he wants to be there, and I know that he's long in the tooth, sure, but that doesn't mean they can't add another running back. That's fine. But this is the best supporting cast he's ever had. Here's what I would do. Let's dive into this part, and I'll talk about his injuries because I pulled them up too, which I think is important to go over. If I'm the Vikings right now, I am on the absolute hunt to trade for or look for. Obviously, in the draft, they're already doing their job to find a competent center, because if you get this offensive line down and get the people we didn't have that we wanted all year last year. Remember, we got Darisaw back off an injury. We had a rookie at left guard, a center that was banged up all the time. I don't even remember who we had at right guard. Do you remember who? Oh, Will Fries. He's great. And then O'Neill's great. but we got to get the center position down. That's my priority number one if I'm the Vikings brass right now. We have to figure that out. Bona fide center. And that might be hard to do. Figure it out whether it's draft or free agency. After that, let Brian Flores cook, dude. Let him do his thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
Harrison
Yep.
Smith is probably done. And I need to see.
Well, there are some rumors here that Harrison Smith is a little non-committal on the whole retirement thing, and that he might potentially be down for running it back, kind of like what we had talked about previously. You can skip out training camp and preseason, and you can kind of come in and we can ease you back into it, Harrison. I do think you have to plan for him not being here, but
Yeah.
hey, if he wants to come back week 1, week 2 of the regular season,
Oh,
come
absolutely.
on, come on back, Harrison. Come on, you've always got a place on this team, man.
I'm 100% down with that.
They
Um,
low key do kind of need another wide receiver with Jalen Naylor
we
being
got to talk
signed
about. Let's
to.
do it now. I'm doing it right now. Free
Where
agency.
did he go? Oakland? Why not Oakland? Where the hell are they now?
Las Vegas. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Las
yeah.
Vegas. Sorry, I'm old. They'll always be Oakland, right?
Yeah, just like at San Diego Chargers. Come
Yeah.
on. So I'm looking at it now. The new league year began yesterday, March 11th. But here's the moves so far. Um, Unrestricted free agents: Ty Chandler, Fabian Moreau, Jalen Naylor. Oh, okay. This is not helping me whatsoever. Let's do the tracker right here that was updated a day ago. So they re-signed Eric Wilson. Best news
Bingo.
so far
Yep.
outside of Kyler Murray. Eric Wilson. Dude was constantly around the ball. He gets a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. That's a steal for what he provides. I said it maybe a month ago, whatever show we did. Low key, we have one of the best linebacker rooms, inside and outside linebacker rooms in the entire league. Depth and range wise. All these players are different, but they all do what they do very well. I love this signing. That's fantastic.
I am. I want to comment here real quick on the chat. I am pumped as well too to have Kyler Murray here in Minnesota. There is a certain level of like off-season hype that the Minnesota Vikings are always able to bring to us. Whether it's signing Brett Favre or bringing in Kyler Murray or whatever, it's just like they find a way to get you excited in March when you probably shouldn't be thinking about football at all right now. So I'm very pumped for it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Kyler Murray can do in Minnesota. I think he can. I think he can put some numbers up. I think this immediately elevates the Vikings, where you're looking at them being a 10 to 14 win team again, don't you, Smith?
I don't know if it's this year, but I think the potential is there. Obviously, last year injuries happened to the O line and with Carson Wentz and with JJ McCarthy, so they got bit pretty hard. But yeah, if they stay healthy, this is a great squad.
Guys,
And like, think about it, they were 9-8. If they just had an adult, if they had two more
if they
games with Carson
had
Wentz, 2 more games of Carson Wentz, this was a wild card team. Now they would have gotten their
guys,
ass kicked in the wild card as per usual, but they
they
were.
st- they started an undrafted rookie against at
Seattle.
quarterback against the eventual Super Bowl champion Seattle
Seattle.
Seahawks.
Ugh.
And no offense to the Golden Gophers, but it's not like they're a powerhouse program here that you're getting a lot of elite level talent from. I mean, we're talking about an undrafted quarterback from Golden Gopher here, guys. Like that's the bar that we're trying to clear with Kyler Murray. And like you said, just having an adult in the room. Are you capable of running an actual NFL offense? Yes, you are. Let's roll. Let's see what we can do. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Guys, it's March.
I got to get some shout outs. So we got double digits watching the show now. We were up to like 14, which is big for us. Wes is in the chat. He's always a faithful SM Viking 88. I love God. I love him so much. He said if GTA 6 comes out before, then no, he's not going to do well. Mike is a mainstay on the show, and I've never seen Dashing Hazel before, but I appreciate you getting on. He said, "I'm so happy. Let's go K1." I feel you, man. I'm pumped on this signing, and it's all potential. This is March. This is March Madness in the NFL right now. We still have
I love
five
it.
more weeks, 6 more weeks until the draft, but
Ooh,
you know, I'm going back. So Good. Kyler Murray's the big news. We'll talk about him more.
Yep.
We talked about Eric Wilson. They signed James Pierre, cornerback from the Steelers, and this is a great depth signing. So they
I,
only have two established corners on the roster. They've got Byron Murphy and Isaiah Rogers. They're great in their own right. So Pierre is 29. He's going to provide depth and very good special teams player as well. I love that. Not a
I, I
2-year contract for $8.5 million. Brilliant move.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about him from his playing time with the Steelers. But like you said, in a position group where you need at least five guys who can play, who
Yep.
can like actually play and contribute, I don't know how the Vikings got away with as shitty as what their corner room was
That
last
was
year.
last year.
That was
The front seven
historic.
did most of the work, so they didn't have to. Is what it was.
Oh boy, let's not do that again. We need guys in the building at that
Absolutely.
position.
Looking at it too, that we Tavier Thomas. I know he had a couple penalties we gave him shit for, but he
Good
did say
good special teams guy.
yes. He's a DB. He's on a 2-year deal, $4.6 million. This is from ESPN as well. He played 83% of the snaps for special teams, and he had 19 tackles, which is leading the league for, or I'm sorry, leading the team for special teams.
Right.
Fantastic, cool. This is the most underrated one. We have the best long snapper in the league. He's staying again, $1.725 million, 38 years old, but he's the best long snapper in football. I'm
Yeah,
glad
but
he's staying.
long snappers can play until they're like 47 and it doesn't matter. I am a little disappointed that the punter went to New Orleans. I believe it
Yeah,
was New Orleans. Although when you look at the contract that he got,
he
I
got the
would
bag.
not. He got the bag. Good for him. I
Yep.
would not touch that with a 10-foot pole if I was an NFL GM. And I know that he's a good punter, but come on, guys. That's the one position that you can legitimately go and get an undrafted free agent rookie and be perfectly fine with. Like, you do not need to pay a punter. Sorry, Pat McAfee. You just don't.
No, I get it. And when they're really good, but was
I,
Ryan Wright
I,
the best in the league? No. And I like Ryan Wright. I have said nothing bad
yeah,
about him on the
he's a
show.
good guy.
He had one or two games where he was off. That's fine. Out of 3 or 4 years being on the team, cool. I'm okay with the Vikings letting him walk. That's totally fine with me. I think they're trying to cook up something special in New Orleans. I think it's cool. They got Travis Etienne. They signed a couple other players. They get a punter. Cool. I don't know if I trust the Tyler Shuck, but I'm happy for Ryan Wright to continue and secure wealth for his family and continue his career.
Like
We
you
will
said,
be okay.
for a punter, he got paid pretty damn well.
Yeah, and hey, like I've always said, even if I don't like the player, go get your money, man. The league is 3 to 4 years for the average for every player. You know, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady's of the league. That shit doesn't
Yeah,
happen very often. So go get your money. I understand. Um, Mike says go get a savage pass rusher. I don't care what they do, man. I really don't. If they get a center and they can shore up at least one of the major issues in the DB section, dude, the world is your oyster. Do whatever you want. I said something not so nice earlier, and I'm going to edit it because I don't want to get canceled on here. But they have new management. Okay, if they can just competently draft and nail 50% of these 9 draft
I
picks that they have, we're good.
I've seen someone pose a question. I lurk on Vikings Reddit. I do not post, but I like to read what people are saying on there.
Yep.
And someone asked, how do the Philadelphia Eagles, year in and year out, always have all of this money to spend in free agency? And you want to know what the answer is? They draft extraordinarily well, and they have players who contribute on rookie pay scale contracts. Why are the Vikings in salary cap hell, Smith? I'm being rhetorical right now. It's because they can't draft or they couldn't draft underneath Quasey for a shit, and so you have to go out into free agency and overspend for your Jonathan Hargraves of the world out there, and you just end up with dead money in places that you don't need it to. So, like you said, they really need to nail the draft moving forward, get some pieces on some cheap contracts that can play and contribute, and everything just gets better from that point forward.
I 100% agree. I I'm trying. I don't want to get too excited about this because
It's March. Get excited, dude.
I mean, I'm just going off the information that I had from last year. Is listen, JJ McCarthy showed strides. My biggest concern with JJ McCarthy isn't his maturity or
Well, it
anything
is
else.
with me a little bit.
No, it's one of them.
Yeah.
But my biggest
Yeah.
one is, brother, you only played like 29% of your snaps the first 2 years you were in the league. I got to
Hi.
have you on the field. And even last year, the theatrics of, ow, my hand hurts or I sprained my ankle, that was still debatable on whether they were like, damn, he's not ready and he just had a kid. I don't know if he
I
really
still
sprained his
think.
ankle. I don't know. I don't know. But going back to, I know Kyler Murray can jump in. He'll have chemistry with Jettis and Addison and Hawkinson, and I know that he can run around and make plays. I just need him to stay healthy. I'm not saying that the Vikings now we're going to go back on the Sam Darnold woof and now we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if this is quarterback rehab, this is the place. This is a number one overall pick, and he's only 28 years old. This is the opportunity with a smaller but same, equally as athletic Sam Darnold year, and we saw what happened. My biggest thing is, and going forward, is I don't want the Vikings to be a rehab center. I want to find our Josh Allen, our Joe Burrow, our Justin Herbert, our Jalen Hurts. I want to
So
find our dude for 8 years. We don't have to think about quarterback. That's all I want.
this is our new conversation all off season here, Smith. What do you do if Kyler Murray wins that 12 to 14 win season that he pilots the Vikings, and let's say they go to the wild card and maybe they get knocked out or maybe they have a little postseason success. He's looking for a contract. Do you buy in? Do you not buy in? What do you do?
I'll
Like
tell you
I
what's
didn't
not
I
going to
don't
happen. I know for sure they're not going to re-up JJ McCarthy. I know that for a fact.
and
And
we don't even need to actually answer that because
sure,
that's projecting way forward right now. But that's the one of the conversations that could potentially be unfolding long term for the Vikings.
hmm
What I
that would
love
put
about
them.
this,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
what I love about signing him right now too, is that Arizona is essentially paying him to be our quarterback this year.
Yeah,
They truly are. So there's no real risk. What is the worst case scenario with Kyler Murray?
he gets hurt and JJ has another year to grow. That's it.
Okay.
You paid $1 million for him.
Yeah. So you paid absolutely. So
Yeah.
let's say he gets hurt. Let's say he looks like shit and he gets hurt and McCarthy comes in. You're not out anything. You're out absolutely nothing. The high side of this is, oh man, we made a deep playoff push, and maybe we have our guy moving forward. I'll take that gamble. I'll take
Yeah,
that bet.
and totally for
Yeah,
the money part of this, this makes so much sense. This is a reboot. This is his second chance, and this is his opportunity to do the Baker Mayfield Sam Darnold thing. And
yeah.
I know he's going to try to take advantage of that. He's got to feel confident coming in. He's like, I think I can beat this kid out and get the starting job. I'm pretty sure if he could say that and take truth serum in front of a mic, that's what he would say. He just has to stay healthy, man. That's all it is.
What do you think Kevin O'Connell told him behind closed doors, just the two of them, no reporters, no media, just man to man? We're talking about the direction of the team. Do you think they even had a conversation about JJ McCarthy, or
No.
do you think that was just sort of you just know that you're gonna beat him out in training camp and get this spot, right?
It depends on if we got the coach that's on ESPN and says the right things at the podium, or if we got like the guy who actually says curse words and is a competitor. He probably looked at him and said, "I have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, two good running backs, and look what I did with Josh Dobbs, Kirk Cousins' best year, and Sam Darnold. Would you like to play here?" And Kyler Murray probably said, "Fuck yeah, I'd love to play here. Let's do it." And that was
Yeah.
probably the extent of their conversation was, "Hey, look, we're building a Lamborghini here. Would you like to drive it?" Cool. Not to mention he didn't even have to say this, but I would too. I'd be like, "Hey, did you see our defensive coordinator too? He's pretty fucking good." Like,
Yeah.
here.
We've said
Speaking
that.
of, let's jump to that in a second. We haven't even talked about Jonathan Grenard being on the table. I don't want to watch him leave, but I kind of hope if they trade him, we get like a two or a three because guess what? you're only going to add more depth for cheap, and they can do the drafting the right way that they need. Because then Dallas Turner is going to get turned loose, and I'm so excited for him to get a starting chance.
Dallas Turner, you talk about a kid who you need to give the keys to the Cadillac to and say go to town. Dallas Turner, to me, looked like he was really turning it on the latter half of the season. That kid's ready for prime time.
Yeah, he's going to be great, and I love that all those people they were talking shit about him. First year in, you're like, he's behind two like all pros or Pro Bowlers. Like, relax, man.
Yeah.
Let's see where it is. Yeah, last year 8 sacks, and he wasn't even the starter. That sounds a lot like, and I'm not comparing him because I don't think he's that good.
Everson?
Also, he reminds me of top end Everson, low end Daniil Hunter because of how it happened. Is we didn't draft the dude. Like, I know he was a first overall pick, and Daniil was a third, and I think Everson was like a fourth.
Fourth, yep.
Yeah, I understand he's drafted higher because he's a better player and prospect, but he's playing. But he's doing what you should have done with quarterbacks for the last however many years. We just haven't because people are impatient. Let him learn, slowly integrate him, and then when you unleash him, he'll have double-digit. I have no doubt if he starts this year, he will have double-digit sacks. I would put my money down on that.
Now I'm curious how many yards Kyler Murray has thrown for in the NFL.
20,000.
I was just looking at per season.
So I'll tell you right here, he's had only 2 seasons out of the 7 he's been in the league that were bad. Last year because he had his injury, and then in 2023 he only had 1799. Outside of that, he's had 3,700, 3,900, 3,700, 2,300.
Yeah.
And then in 2024, 3,800. I would predict if he can stay healthy and all goes to plan, and that's a big if, that's a big ask. 3,800 yards with the Vikings, maybe 29 touchdowns, 11 picks. You're right there in the thick of things. You're either winning the North or you're a wild card, and you're figuring it out, man.
And it looks like he averages around 500-ish yards rushing per season too.
Dude, we didn't even talk about that. The threat of the legs. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, let's look at this. Where are the rushing stats? Rushing and receiving. Here we go.
He's got 30. Is that right? 32 rushing touchdowns?
Holy shit, yeah.
In his career?
Wow. So 2019, 544 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2020, 819 rushing yards, 11 rushing touchdowns. Holy shit.
Kevin O'Connell is a mad scientist when he gets players that he can work with. Now I'm thinking there's some kind of weird goal line trick play where you can use Kyler Murray's legs and Justin Jefferson's ability to throw the football, because JJ's actually got a pretty good arm on him as well too. Like, there's some kind of weird goal line package here, and I don't know what it is, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they use it.
Yeah, he's going to average about 400 yards a year or more if he's healthy. That's crazy. 819 rushing yards in 2020, 11 touchdowns. Holy hell.
Guys, on paper, it's a good fit. I think it's a good fit, don't you?
I forgot all about him being a rushing threat. We talked about how good of an athlete he was, but I forgot to bring that up. That's really cool. Yeah, that makes me even more optimistic.
Hey, and guess what? With a baseball background, he probably knows how to slide. Unlike JJ McCarthy.
I don't want to dog on JJ anymore. Literally, all we've done is shit on him the last 8 months. I don't want to dog on him anymore. I'm kind of tired of it. Only because I have something I hope to look forward to.
What's that conversation going to be like the next time Kevin O'Connell and JJ McCarthy are face to face?
Hey, you got to be honest with him and say, hey, look, this is your time. If you want to prove everybody wrong, come in here and beat this dude out for your job.
Yeah.
Come in. That's the NFL's about competition. You want to be the best? Beat the best. Start on your own team and beat this guy to start. That would be the NFL's most shocking story of the year. You sign Kyler Murray for the vet minimum. He's coming in to prove it. Do a Sam Darnold year rental to see if he stays or goes somewhere else and gets a bag again. And then J.J. McCarthy comes in and they're like, we don't know what happened, but he's legitimately fucking awesome now. There's reality where that happens.
I would love for that to happen. I don't think so, but stranger things have happened.
Could be.
I truly do not know what McCarthy's role with this team is moving forward. you would hope that maybe he can sit and kind of become that backup quarterback fringe starter, and maybe you can flip him for a draft pick later on down the line to some other team who wants to bring him in for more of a competition is kind of what his future looks like to me, but who knows, man.
Kevin O'Connell on how Kyler fits. This is from Will Raggett, so you know this is a good post here. Sorry to hold my phone up to read this, but when you
But
actually
you're
dive
old.
in, yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna. Hey, you guys, can you read that? Uh, Kevin O'Connell on how Kyler Murray fits. When you actually dive in and really study Kyler's experience at the position, you do see a lot of really great qualities that fit into some of the things we ask our quarterbacks to do. I think Kyler's an accurate player. I think he's learned to play with really solid fundamentals in the pass game, and he can make all the throws. Well, if he's
he just
immediately talking about fundamentals about the guy he just signed, what does that tell you about the one that you have on the roster?
I was gonna say the three bulletin points that he just brought up are maybe the three biggest knocks against JJ McCarthy.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Damn. Well, and I love that you brought this up in the chat, but we got to bring it up too. It's on Gridiron and Bleacher Report. I cried real tears whenever Brett threw that interception in the '09 championship
Oh
game.
God.
He said he grew up a Vikings fan. That sucks. Way to bring that shit up and make me hate the Saints again today, Kyler Murray.
Oh man, he's truly one of us. If there's any truth to that statement, like
Hopefully he
he's
really is. That would make me like him even more. So we've kind of gone over
what
the possibilities of if it goes good, if it doesn't. We talked a little bit about some of the players they retained. Um, I just want to recap free agency a little bit because it's been wild. The biggest news and the craziest story of all the last
oh
couple
the
of days.
Max Crosby.
Crosby was going to Baltimore from Las Vegas, and Las Vegas reneged on the trade, which is I was in the camp of Baltimore's fine, and then I realized like, oh no, they had all the information on this dude's knee, and then they just waited to back out of it, which is total bullshit. But I think the real solution to all this is you have to hold tampering accountable. Adam Schefter was pissed the other day because he was like, when the fuck is tampering going to be called and enforced? He goes, if you're doing that, then the new league year starts at the combine. He goes, you can't agree in principle and then tell me that teams haven't talked to each other because
Uh,
they absolutely have. And I
Do
think that
you?
really needs to be cracked down upon. That's
We
just me.
were we were you're 100% right. And we were joking about that in our group chat before we recorded as well too. Do you really believe that Kyler Murray and the Minnesota Vikings had no contact with each other prior to today? Like that was the first time. Like I'm sorry, I don't
In
believe
the
that
age
shit
of,
for us.
let's see, too. This is just a fun thing to look at. Kyler Murray career earnings. Let's see how much he's made. Over
Probably quite.
$170 million as of March of 2026. Yeah. So you think that this guy, in the age of we can FaceTime each other from the other side of the world, maybe he didn't have a burner phone or has his agent texting somebody on the side? You think he just locked himself at home and says, gee, I'm going to watch Sports Center and see what they say about my life and career? Like
Or how much did you say he's earned in his career?
$170 million.
So let's say they fine him like $10,000 for illegal tampering. You think
Wouldn't
he
notice.
gives a shit?
Wouldn't
Think
notice
he
it the
would give a
most.
shit at all? Yeah.
No. I don't know. I think that's the solution. You really have to crack down on it. But the Max
Oh,
Crosby
I
trade and then not trade was weird because the Raiders went all they had all this money and they were like, shit, we're getting two more picks. And the reason they picked Baltimore is Baltimore is never picking at 14 if they can help it because they're always good in the
yeah.
playoffs. So they had calls from Dallas. Dallas was like, I don't want to give up two firsts. I forget the other team that was in the mix for it, but I'm just laughing because I'm like, okay, we have only heard about that once in the last 10 years, and I can't remember who it was, but I know this happened. What do you do if you're Max Crosby? And he was back at the Raiders facility like the next day. He's like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm still here, like trying to rehab his knee. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Has, there has to be some actual repercussions for someone for that clusterfuck. that just unfolded.
Just unprofessional, man. I don't get it. We didn't talk
Here is
about
a
Kenneth Walker going to the Chiefs, the Super Bowl MVP. That's a big move. Uh,
great move for them. I hate it
hate it.
because I don't.
I don't want the Patriots 2.0 to happen again. Have one year where they're
Yeah.
kind of bad, and then it's like, hey, cool. But that should tell you, like, I think the most interesting point I've heard on all these podcasts is they didn't believe that Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, they didn't believe he was going to fall to 9. He's probably going in the top 6. He's going to be a special
Yeah.
player. And even the
Yeah.
Saints,
Yeah.
they're like, we're at 8, and we don't know if we're going to get this guy. They went and got Travis Etienne, so be interesting to see where Jeremiah Love goes. I think the Raiders are doing everything they can to get better. They signed Tyler Linderbaum, they signed Jalen Naylor, and they retained their corner, who's really good. They've gotten immensely better than they were a month ago. But I don't know, man. I think Dallas had a decent offseason. They didn't do much, but they got a couple good players. Baltimore got Trey Hendrickson now that Max Crosby deal is out, so that's a good signing for them. They need pass rush help. I'm trying to think. It feels like the Eagles lost some key players. The Bucks lost some key players.
Good.
Panthers loaded up on a lot of players. They had a lot of money, and they were a playoff team last year. And then it also feels like Seattle lost a couple players. I know Tariq Woolen went somewhere. That was a good signing. Um, but those are all the big names that I could think of. What's up, Andrew? What's up, David? Talking about Kyler Murray. What are you guys' thoughts? Are you happy? We're pretty stoked that he's going to be a Viking.
How quickly do you think it'll be before there is an Instagram story of Kyler Murray in gym shorts throwing to Justin Jefferson in gym shorts running routes on a high school football field somewhere? Like, when will those two
Before
like
the end of this
connect
month.
up?
I would
Into
guess.
this week?
I
into
mean, I hope it's in
into
2 days,
into
but
next week? Yeah.
that would be cool. And before the end of March would make my heart happy. I know that it's the off season and they're probably like recouping and trying to get back into shape, but
But
I feel like
let's
Justin
go,
Jefferson's
man.
a lot like Randy Moss, where he's like, "You ever see a gazelle stretch before he gets on the field?" He's like, "I don't need to stretch. I come ready, man." Like, I can see him. I can see him doing some shit like that. But yeah, I want to see them get on the same page. I want to see Kyler Murray fully bought in and just see what his maximum potential would be. And we talked about this earlier, David. You can't beat this deal. I would have taken Aaron Rodgers. I said this earlier over Kyler Murray slightly because of the brain and the legacy and all that. Because I truly think he would run that offense like nobody else could. But for the potential, the athleticism, and the age and the price tag, this was the best option you could have had. I didn't want Kirk Cousins. I definitely didn't want Tua. I didn't want Geno Smith. I didn't want Russell Wilson. There was talks about Derek Carr coming out of retirement. Like,
Ah,
none of these excite me like Kyler Murray excites me based on the potential, and he's only 28 years old at this current moment. So I'm excited, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I said as well.
that'd be insane. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I said as well too, David. Is that the Arizona Cardinals are essentially paying Kyler Murray to be a Minnesota Viking this year. Like, it is such a good deal for our team and for Kyler as well too, to just go out there and prove that, hey, I'm still that guy. I was the number one overall pick for a reason, right? Like, you have to hope that he still wants to prove that to everyone out there. I think it's a good fit.
Now, I will say, talking about all these quarterback contracts and his money, like Tua and Kyler, Tua is going to go down historically bad, like the Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson contract, because they got rid of him pretty quickly after they paid him. Shout
I
out
wanted
to.
to
Go ahead.
I wanted to like Tua so bad coming out of college. I
Oh, I don't
really
hate him
wanted to
as a
see that.
person. I
I
think he's a
oh I know
great person.
I really wanted to see that kid succeed in the NFL.
And I'm not mad at him for taking it. If somebody offered me that much money at my job right now, fuck yeah, I would take it. But it's the thing of, and this is a shout out to Chris Brockman on the Rich Eisen show. You guys, if you've been listening in the last 2 years, I have upped my podcast consumption even more than I thought I could. I listen to Rich Eisen every episode of everything. I love that show. I think it's bar none the best NFL and sports podcast and show there is. Chris Brockman's one of the hosts, and he said, "Hey, this has to stop. You don't have to pay players $60 million a year just based on potential. He was so against paying Trevor Lawrence the contract, so against paying Tua, and now they're not even playing. And I'm over here screaming this, and I understand any NFL agent would look at me and flip me double birds and tell me to go F myself. To do the Sam Darnold thing, take 80% of what the market is from the highest contract. Take 80% of that number and let your team be able to sign literally anyone else. A pass rusher, a wide receiver, a guard, a running back. You don't have to do the Dak Prescott thing every year. It's not, and look at it. Here's my number one pitch if I'm a GM or a coach trying to recruit a guy or trying to talk to a kid's agent who's been on my team that maybe we want to pay. When has the last time a Super Bowl been had where the quarterback of the winning team is the highest paid player? I'll wait. I don't think it's that kind of thing. And the running back is probably the most crucial position after that, not named left tackle or defensive end. You don't have the highest paid running back either. It's not saying you can't get your money. I'm not saying you don't pay guys when they play well. But this Tua thing, I really hope it reshapes everything, because in a salary cap league, you cannot pay a guy top dollar and expect to be – you're going to be in the Joe Burrow situation. You got the most talented dude in the world. If you can't pay anybody to protect him or pay anybody on defense to go after the other team, you're not going to do shit. And I say all of that to say I'm with you, Kyle. I'm glad Arizona's paying him to play for us.
Yeah.
But if he balls out, I hope the Vikings don't make that mistake of, well, I'm going to be Kirk Cousins and I'm going to ask for the most money possible. See you later, dude.
Well, I realize again we're projecting way far forward on this conversation right now, but if he does ball out, and I hope he does, and I hope the Vikings are a 14 to 15 win season underneath Kyler Murray as our starting quarterback on 2026. Okay, I want all that to happen. They learned their lesson on letting Sam Darnold go. There is no scenario in which he plays extraordinarily well and they don't re-sign him to a long-term deal in Minnesota. That is just not going to happen.
I would agree. Like I said, I don't want him to break the bank, and I don't think they could afford it with Justin Jefferson still being there and a couple other players they want to do. They would give him a fair offer. I've been saying this, and this is just a selfish way for me to plug an idea that I've had forever. Like, you want to do the Kirk Cousins deal of fully guaranteed, but you want to do it with the way that I'm saying of, okay, I'm just going to do it right now, so bear with me, everyone. Top 10 highest paid QBs in the NFL right now. So this is what I would base it on. Not interested. All right. As of March 2026, Dak Prescott leads NFL quarterbacks with an average annual value, APY, of $60 million. Followed
that's
by
so stupid.
That's crazy. Followed by a group at $55 million that includes Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, and Jordan Love. So that's Jordan Love. That's 5. Okay. So I'm going to go to over the cap, and I just want to break this down just for 10. So this is total value and average per year. Dak Prescott, 60. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, 55. Jared Goff, 53. Brock Purdy, 53. Justin Herbert, 52.5. Lamar Jackson, 52. Jalen Hurts, 51. Okay. How many of those guys have won a Super Bowl? Jalen Hurts, and that's it. Patrick Mahomes right now is playing for $45 million. His total guaranteed is $141, and his total value of his contract is $450 million, which beats everyone. So, my point being, you need to model like that and say, listen, if I know you're the guy, you're not going to be injured, you're not going to cause any drama, you're a leader, like you want to be our dude for, I don't know, 6 to 7 years. I'll give you a 5-year contract, and I'll make that bitch X amount of money. But the average hit every year, $45 million compared to 60. What player can you buy for $15 million? I'll tell you what, you can go get the highest paid running back in the market named Kenneth Walker for $15 million less. And guess what? Patrick Mahomes, would you rather have him or Dak Prescott? What's the answer there?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Of
Yeah.
course. I can't believe Justin Herbert makes $8 million less than him. Jalen Hurts makes $9 million less than Dak, and he's in the same division. He's been to two Super Bowls and won one. There's a way to do this, and I hope that if Kyler has a Sam Darnold year, and we are super projecting here, guys, but if
Yeah,
that
yeah.
does happen and they look at it, they say, listen, we're not doing that highest paid bullshit. We can't do it. That's not how the cap's going to be in our favor. But I'll give you, if I was a quarterback, I'd say, hey, listen, right now in 2026, I want 45 million guaranteed for 4 years. I'd take that deal all day, twice on Sunday.
The number I had in my head was 50. It's awesome that you said 45 because like how
We'll meet in the middle. 47 and a half per year guaranteed for 4 years. And we can talk about 2 years later negotiating. But right now, that's locked in, and you get all this money guaranteed. We'll talk about additions or extensions later. If I'm a quarterback, I sign that shit immediately. And guess what that does right now? The salary cap just went up $20 million from last year. Your guy, as
yeah.
good as he says, 45 million, the media will say, well, he's not playing for very much. That's a shitload of money. And I can keep Justin Jefferson around in his prime. If we love Addison and he doesn't fuck up anymore, we can sign him to a wide receiver two great deal.
Oh man, that's another story we need to touch upon real quick as well too. This team all of a sudden with having competent play at quarterback, uh we really need Jordan Addison to like be a contributor. Like you need to be not suspended and on the field for the Vikings because now we could actually make some damage, do some damage out there. Jordan Addison has to get his head out of the clouds and back down to reality and figure his shit out.
Yeah, I hope he's done making stupid decisions. And I'll chalk this last one up this offseason to something small. Okay, cool. I'm more angry that it's consecutive and he's had other, but this was the least offensive of the penalties of the other two. So I'm glad they're getting less, but I need them to be
Yeah,
zero. But
yeah.
going back
How
to the
hard,
Kyler Murray
how
thing,
hard is it to just not get arrested?
fuck, man, just don't get arrested. Jesus.
Uh,
And especially, and I said this on the show, the kid came out of the draft and said, let's get that bag. Brother, you're fucking up every chance to get the bag by getting in trouble every year. Stop doing it. Just stop being an idiot. I want to look
yeah,
at it
you're
like
right, Mike.
liar, liar, and
Mike
just say,
is,
stop breaking the law, asshole. Like, I just want to scream it at him.
Mike is right. The charges were dropped, so
That's
we
good.
can't we can't really hold it against him, but we can a little bit.
I wanted to put this back up here. Fire Breather, he's been on the show forever. He's been a really good supporter, and he went to the Navy, and he just graduated A school, so now he's going to be going to his assignment. Hey, man, with all this stuff going on in the world, please stay safe. We love you, and we respect what you're doing. As a former military member myself for 12 years, it takes a lot of balls to sign up for that, so good for you. Where are you going to be stationed, and yeah, what do you think of the Kyler Murray signing, Fire Breather? I'll give you the floor for to highlight your comment. David says, hopefully he doesn't have a J.J. McCarthy year. Yeah, hopefully not. I don't think that's going to be possible, but I don't know. I just want him to be healthy, man. You get a great assessment of
Yeah,
somebody if they're healthy.
worst case scenario, since we've talked about best case quite a bit, and rightfully so. We want to be excited about our team in March, and it's an exciting signing. Worst case scenario, I think for Kyler Murray would have to be, you look average to below average for 4 or 5 games, you get hurt, you're out for 3 or 4. McCarthy comes in. McCarthy looks like McCarthy. He basically stinks. Murray gets rushed back. He's still injured. He stinks. And we just roll through that whole scenario again. Guys, that could very well unfold. I am going to try to be super positive and say that that's not going to happen because, boy, oh boy, I don't want to sit through that again. Do you?
Fuck no.
No. I, no, I really don't.
I don't even want to think about that. I'm optimistic today, and I like it. And now we get to really say, okay, make one splash in free agency. Because let's go to over the cap too. I'm on it now because they had to get rid of a few players. Javon Hargrave signed elsewhere. Jonathan Allen signed elsewhere. Salary cap space for the Vikings right now they have $3 million in cap space. So I'm sure that's going to change because they're going to have to sign some players. We know that T.J. Hawkinson restructured and took a pay cut, which is good. I find my respect for T.J. Hawkinson went way up because the potential is there. He's a damn good tight end, but the money he was going to make based on the production the last 2 years, in my opinion, he hasn't looked really great since
Well, and
the injury.
he hasn't, and I'm going to continue to place blame on McCarthy. I'm looking forward to seeing what T.J. Hawkinson can do with actual quarterback play this year. Like he could very well have a bounce back season.
Well, I hope he does. I hope that
Yeah,
all the
man, me too.
receivers do because they deserve it, and I know the potential is there. And he's a good security blanket. I've never worried about his hands. I just worry that his shiftiness has looked a little off since that injury, which was a gruesome injury. Fuck Kirby Joseph, but I hope that he has a bounce back season. I love a good tight end set, and the Vikings have two really good tight ends, and I love their role of T.J. Hawkinson is clearly tight end one, and Josh Oliver is clearly tight end two, but they're so good at what they do. I love our tight end duo, so I'm glad that he respectfully took a pay cut because the team needed him to, and it was a good restructure. I'm sure there was incentives there for later, but it takes a lot to do something for the team. That's very respectable.
Breaking
Uh,
news, Breaking news: Kyle Smith loves a good tight end.
I do love a good tight end. Currently, yeah, Clint, 3 million after all the cuts, and Murray is going to be 1.3. But that's right now. That's going to change. They're going to have more alone just for the draft picks. They have 9 draft picks this year, and they're always going to sign undrafted free agents. So I'm wondering who else might be on the chopping block. If Jonathan Grenard is going to be on the chopping block, they could get another pick and possibly some of the cap relief there. Not sure. Let's see. I'll go into it right now. We got nothing going on, and we're talking about it. So Jonathan Allen is off the books. Pre dead cap money savings pre June is 12 million. Brian O'Neill's going to stay. Jonathan Grenard, if he gets pre June cut, either 9.9 or 12.2 million saved. Aaron Jones is back. He's going to be on a cheaper deal. They did agree with that. Harrison Smith is voided. That saves them $3 million. And all the rest of that, I'm not sure. So, yeah, the Jonathan Grenard one's going to be really interesting. They're going to have to do some more wizardry, though, because they're going to have 9 draft picks and more undrafted free agents. And maybe they don't make any more free agent signings. I don't know. Maybe they're like, Kyler's it, and then we'll draft. Cool.
I think that's the path that you go forward, right? Like, hey, you made your splash in free agency, you brought in Kyler Murray. Now we're going to let the draft kind of shake itself out. We're going to see what we can do. We got some pretty good draft capital to kind of move up and down. And I really, truly hope that this is the year that they finally just. Can we stay put and just draft best available player and not be so concerned about position of need? Like, I know you don't want to, if you're top heavy at a certain position, draft a player who's never going to see the field. But there is something to be said for just take the best available players and don't worry about the position. Get a dog in the facility, okay? Get a guy who can play on your team and let the rest of that shit shake itself out in training camp, right? Like, has there ever been a scenario, Kyle Smith, where you're sitting here going, "Oh, I got too many starting corners on my team. Oh, I, I, I have too many wide receivers who were too good
We
on
can
this
say
team."
this right now. They had too many outside linebackers. Did they trade any of them the last 2 years? No. They rotated them like they're supposed to. Of course not. Clint
That's
brings up a very good point, too. Go ahead. Sorry.
that's my long-winded way of saying just draft guys who can play, and I don't care about the position. Figure it out later.
I'm with it,
You'll
man.
figure it out later, dude.
And if you have 9 draft picks, you can go get a guy that you really like at whatever position. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not your top guy because you waited till the later rounds, but you can do both. You can do BPA when you need to, and then you can also move around and get a guy that you've coveted. Like, it's not hard. I just want to see what this regime does now that Quessie's gone. But I
Oh
digress.
my God. I could
Yeah.
do a better job drafting than him. Legitimately.
Andrew says these restructures are making 27 and 28 difficult. Yep, it's going to be hard, but it is what it is.
I'm with
Um,
Clint on this one.
let's see. I wanted to keep Naylor and trade Addison. Listen, if we could have got decent compensation for Addison, I would entertain it. But talent wise, Addison is better than Naylor, and I'm okay with keeping your one and your two because that would have been a large gap to fill going from Jefferson to Naylor. Respect to Naylor. I liked him. And I think he's going to be fine in Las Vegas because Fernando Mendoza's a dog.
He got overpaid. They absolutely they I like Naylor. He absolutely got overpaid. Let's see what Ty Felton can do. He's a kid I was excited for when we drafted him. Get Ty Felton out on the field. I think
Hey,
he'll.
there's some gargantuan wide receivers in this draft. If you
Oh
really want
boy,
one, go get one.
go get
There's some
spot on, dude.
specimens there. Yeah, you can't trade Gennard to the Ravens. He's damaged good. Well, you can't trade anybody to the Ravens because they're on everybody's shit list right now, so that's hilarious. Fire Breather's going to California. He's a CB. That's really awesome, dude. Congratulations again. Um, we are going to need a punter, and Reichert has already overplayed his rookie contract. I'm not going to think about that right now. I'm not going to think about it. He's
Punter,
awesome.
like I said at the top of the show, I seriously think undrafted free agent punter. Find one who's good and you don't have to pay them jack shit and just bring them in and you are fine. Let's just not punt the football. That's the solution. Just don't have to punt, guys.
So, two spots in the O line. Where do you want to fill that, Mike? I know you're talking center, but I like Will Fries and Donovan Jackson at guard. Are you talking about the guards or the tackle? Now, if you're talking about depth, by all means, get as many offensive linemen as you can put on the roster that are great. But I don't know. Alec
You could
Pierce
you
got
you
27
could
million. Addison's gonna. Yeah, they overpaid for Alec Pierce though. But yes, Addison will get over 30. Yes, and don't be shocked at that number. Remember, a few years ago, I was saying this to Adam in the chat, and I'm not disrespecting or calling Adam dumb. I'm putting the context for this conversation because Adam is probably smarter than me and Kyle together when it comes to football shit. If we're being honest, I at the time, yes, that deal was like, holy fuck, you're paying a wide receiver 35 million. The cap is not what it was 3 years ago. It's nowhere. It's went up what,
boom.
$60 million since then, something close to that. So $30 million for a wide receiver too. I know that sounds like heresy and blasphemy. That's the new normal, man. That's just
Hey,
inflation. That's all it
if you
is.
think the salary hey, if you think the salary cap is insane right now, just wait until the fucking Saudi Arabia decides they want NFL football in Saudi. Just wait until you see what that influx of money is going to do to the salary cap. It's going to be through the roof, dude. I wonder, am I stupid for thinking that you maybe might be looking at a left tackle?
I don't think. I think he's still in his prime. It sucks for the injury, and I give. It's just like the Daniel Jones thing this year. Don't expect Daniel Jones and Patrick Mahomes to come back and light it up because they both had nasty injuries. I give him
Right.
a year after, like the Kirk Cousins year right after the Achilles. He didn't look great. Last year when he
Yeah.
played, he looked fine. Give him a year after. Let me see if Christian Darrisaw looks like he's stepped back a little bit. I didn't think he looked bad last year, but it's it's fine. What happened last year was we had it in our brain, we had fixed the O line, and everything was going to be kosher, and the NFL gods were like, "Fuck y'all! Everything you wanted is not going to work until
Oh
week
boy.
16," and that's what happened. Like
I
we didn't
thought
get that
that
starting five that we wanted until like the fourth quarter of the year. So
I don't know if I've ever been as wrong about a player as what I was with Ryan Kelly. And to be fair, he was good when he was healthy, and I hate making fun of the guy for concussions and all of that stuff. But man, you talk about a free agent signing that did not work out. That one historically did not work out for the Vikings. Oh God, will they? I didn't even think of that, Clint. Oh my God, the Saudis are going to own the Seattle Seahawks.
that's right, they are going up for sale. The
Oh,
Saudi
I hate.
Arabian Seahawks.
They'll have to change their name to something.
Oh my God, they could put a
It
fucking
will.
Burke on the top of the Seahawks head. That would be fucking sick. Well, it's fun too. Like I put Saudi because I've been in the Middle East a couple of times, but I went to Qatar last year, which is fucking insane for what's happening in the Middle East right now. A year ago, I was vacationing there, so I was in Doha last year, Qatar. Great city, amazing country. Tourism's like their number one influx of money. So like, you want to go somewhere Americanized, but it looks nothing like America. Go to Doha when they're not getting rocket attacks from Iran. I got to ride a camel after a long ass day of dune bashing in a giant
Okay, Adrian.
4x4.
Okay, Adrian Peterson.
Dude, it was awesome. And I got to
I
hold a
bet.
hawk. I got to hold a hawk, and I was terrified.
No shit.
I could rip out my eyes right now. And
Was it legit with like did the talons go like around your arm?
they went around my hand. I had to put a glove on, and
Yeah.
they went around, and they had shades over their eyes, so they wouldn't see like you making eye contact or wanting to fly off. And whenever they wanted to, let it fly, they would take it off. But they know their handler, and they come back to them. But dude, those things are terrifying. They are legitimately scary because you're like, anything that flies, I have total respect for because you're like, well, you won this battle already, even if they're only this big. No, I don't mess with that stuff, man.
You train dogs, and I think that's cool. And like, I can understand how you can train a dog. I've never understood how the fuck do you train a bird?
Food. It's
And
always
just food. That's it. That's all it takes.
They train dogs. So this is funny. Going to the dog school in the military, you learn like through these dogs that have either issues or they're only good at one thing. So they're used as like training tools. When you go back for the supervisory stuff in the military, we call them kennel masters. So you can run an entire section of handlers and trainers and dogs and stuff. When you go back for that, they take you to SeaWorld in San Antonio and you get to watch them train fucking sea lions. And you're like,
Cool.
how in the world do you do that? And they're like, food. We motivate the dolphins to go through a hoop using food on a long pole, and we do the same thing. Sea lions are basically the dogs of the ocean, which is awesome. They're hilarious. But it's all food motivated. And you got to think, we can put a correction collar on a dog and like maybe correct them if they do something wrong or they try to bite us. Can you put a correction collar on a dolphin? So, those
Now
guys
I'm
have
thinking.
my whole respect because I'm like, how the hell do you tell a dolphin what to do? That's insane.
Now I wonder if that's how we train JJ McCarthy. Like, hey JJ, you made a good pass. Here's a here's some good.
Hibachi shrimping him across the training room.
I was thinking like Girl Scout cookies. Here's a tag along. Here's a Thin Mint. Oh, good job. Good job,
God.
JJ. Good job, JJ. You did it.
Pavlov's theory with the bell on our quarterback. That is the shit. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. That is so disrespectful. Holy shit. Folks, the show's not going to get funnier than that. I can tell you that right now. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's so funny. I'm still doing the hibachi shrimp in my mind. So, I think we should end on that. That's so fucking funny. Do we go with the backup center all year? I wouldn't do it. I think center would be at the top 3 of my priorities. Obviously, you get a punter later. You got to get wide receiver 3 down. You need some DB help. But I'm looking at the offensive line and I'm saying we need to get it right before any quarterback is going to succeed here. Do we feel 100% about it? And you shouldn't. You shouldn't feel 100% about it. Your center just retired. So
Yeah.
And I like Blake Brandel. He's a good serviceable guard or center, but did he prove enough to be a starter? Or is there one lurking in the second round we could go get? You get 2/3 this year.
I kind of like the idea of taking that second round pick and getting me a center and having a competition between Brandel and the draft pick and just kind of seeing how that shakes out.
So right now, as it sits, they could get some more compensation if Grenard leaves. Round 1, number 18. Round 2, number 49. Round 3, number 82. Round 3 from Sam Darnold, 97. Round 5,
Nice.
163. Round 6, 196. And 3 round 7 picks, 234, 235, and 244.
Rick Spielman likes that.
He's salivating, dude. Oh, what I could do with that. So yeah, there's 9 total picks there, and there may be more if Jonathan Grenard gets traded. There has been calls, and this is like from Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport and all those guys. They have been getting phone calls about Jonathan Grenard. So Hate to see him leave. I think he's underrated as hell. I love the duo of him and
Oh,
Van Ginkel,
yeah.
but you drafted Dallas Turner and he looks ready to go. You got to pick one. So he costs more than Van Ginkel, so that's probably why. Good.
That's
You thought about the
good.
hibachi shrimp, didn't you? David, are you flying out of
Yeah.
Charlotte? Where are you out of, dude? Tell the people there, thank you for what we're doing. I'm going on day 29 of not getting paid by TSA because the government's full of idiots. So,
Still?
oh yeah, the Department of
Dude,
Homeland
I didn't.
Security has been shut down since Valentine's Day, and I listened to them today argue. Democrats are arguing, Republicans are arguing. It's like they're arguing over ICE. ICE is funded by the big beautiful bill from last year. You could absolutely pay us, the Coast Guard, FEMA, cybersecurity, and Secret Service right now. All of those entities are not getting paid.
You
And
have nothing to do with that. How come they're not? I don't understand why they're not paying you.
make it make sense, dude. It's just where we are pawns in a game over ICE right now. And it's like,
That's ridiculous,
it's
man. I didn't know.
crazy, man. Crazy.
That sucks.
Why did we do better with our UDFAs than our seventh? I don't know. That's just our luck. Slaughter out of Florida could be a pick at 97 for center. I will look him up. Florida center.
Sar- Sergeant Slaughter?
Sergeant Slaughter. That will be your new name from now on, and you'd better have early onset balding, and you'd better wear the singlet. I don't know. That would be cool. I'm going to put this up so we can get out of here. I got to go to bed, but Adam didn't get to jump in tonight. We kind of did this on the fly because the news was so close and happening like now. We kind of expected it to happen at some point today or tomorrow. But I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad we had to talk about it. So hopefully he'll be back for the next one. I'm sure he will be. Go check out Adam Carlson's work on the Viking Age, thevikingage.com. If you click on any of his articles, you will help pay the bills. When his numbers get boosted, more eyeballs read, more money comes into his pocket. And I can tell you, we've been supporting him for a long time and clicking on his articles. Their website is so much easier to digest now. They've improved it immensely. If you find an article of his name will be in blue. Click the hyperlink, and it'll give you all of his articles. Do him a favor. Take 1 minute out of your day. Click on it. Scroll through it. Read it. Click on 2 or 3 of those and help Adam Carlson out by going to the Viking Age and reading his stuff. We are also on his Twitch channel at MN Viking Zombie. You can follow him on Twitch and on YouTube. Pretty awesome, man. We've had the most engagement I think we've ever had, not during a draft show tonight, because Kyler Murray brings in that kind of viewership and talking points. So Kyler Murray's a Viking. We should all be excited. I do believe he's an upgrade over J.J. McCarthy immensely. He just got to stay healthy, man. But for $1 million and some change, you get the first overall pick from 2019, who's a Heisman Trophy winner. It's better than what we were sitting at by a couple of levels. So I'm happy with that. Yeah. Shout out to everybody. David, Fire Breather, Andrew, Mike, Clint. Everybody was in here today. Who else am I missing? We already said Andrew. Who else was I missing earlier? It was a new name that I hadn't seen before. I'm going to give you a shout again. Dashing Hazel said, I'm so happy. Let's go K1. I feel you, man. Do us a favor before we get off here. If you're not subscribed to the channel on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. I know you hear that if you watch YouTube religiously like I do, but we have to promote it. Hit the bell at the top if you're using your mobile app. Every time that I schedule the show, because I'm usually the moderator who schedules these things, it'll tell you, hey, the Purple People Podcast is going to go live tonight. You've seen on the show tonight, if you're a faithful of the show, if you comment something, we will talk about it because we need
we love that.
And it helps. You help do our job, and we're lazy, so we appreciate that. Like and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you listen. You can catch us on all the platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Podomatic. Like we're everywhere, thankfully. But it's because you guys engage with us, so really appreciate that. Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Mike. We really appreciate it. It's a good show because we have fun news to talk about, and you guys are excited about it. That's literally it. Kyle and I, when it's a Kyle show, this shit goes off the rails as soon as we hit live. So thank y'all for rating us in. We really appreciate it. Kyle, you got anything?
I don't.
Cool. Well, I'm going to quit blabbing. We appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much. We'll be back maybe next week or the week after when we have more news. Until then, stay safe. and keep it classy.